Welcome to the grand finale of our journey inside the mind of AI. We've seen the problem, we found the key, and now we're finally going to put it all together. This is where the blueprint becomes a brain, where we assemble the revolutionary architecture that powers literally everything from ChatGPT to Gemini.
So, let's do a quick rewind. In our first part, we ran smack into a wall, remember? The memory bottleneck. Older AIs would basically forget the beginning of a sentence by the time they got to the end. Then, in part 2, we discovered the key that blew that wall to pieces. The attention mechanism. This incredible idea that lets a model connect any word to any other word instantly.
Okay, so that leads us to the big question, right? How do we take this amazing conceptual key and actually use it to build a thinking machine? This is it. This is the construction phase.
The original transformer design is just brilliant. You can think of it like the two hemispheres of a brain. It has two very distinct halves. You've got the listener, whose whole job is to understand the world, and you've got the storyteller, whose job is to create something new.
So the encoder, that's our listener. It takes in a whole block of text and just soaks it all in, analyzing this crazy web of relationships to understand what is. But then you have the decoder, the storyteller. It takes that deep understanding, and its job is to predict what will be, generating brand new text, one single word at a time. It's beautiful, really. One half analyzes the past, the other creates the future.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how this split actually played out. You see, the encoder is bidirectional. It has this kind of God's eye view of the text, seeing both the past and the future all at once. That makes it perfect for analysis, which is why it powers things like Google's BERT for search. The decoder, though, it's unidirectional. It's more like an improviser on stage. It can only see what's already happened. And that's exactly what you need for generation. This is the architecture of ChatGPT. You know, the entire AI revolution we're living through is really the story of the decoder's big win.
But of course, a brain is more than just two big lobes. We need to add a couple more crucial components to this engine. We need to give it a sense of time, and we need to give it a place to actually do its thinking. So here's a totally mind-bending fact for you. A raw transformer sees a sentence as just a bag of words. To the machine, the dog bit the man is exactly the same as the man bit the dog. No difference. To fix this, we have to inject an artificial sense of time, and that's called positional encoding. Just think of it like a unique timestamp, or maybe a musical chord, that gets attached to every single word, telling the model its exact place in line. Without this, there's no order, no cause and effect, basically no story. So, if attention is the social part of the model, the part that lets all the words talk to each other and gather context, the feed-forward network, or FFN, is the quiet, solitary thinking part. After a word has soaked up all that context from its neighbors, it passes through the FFN to get deeply processed. You can almost think of it as the model's digestive system. It's where the model queries this massive internal encyclopedia to really enrich the word's meaning.
And this right here, this shows you just how important they are. I mean, attention gets all the fame and glory, right? But the FFNs are the silent giants of this whole operation. They make up roughly 2/3 of the entire model's parameters. This is where the overwhelming majority of the AI's actual knowledge is stored. It's wild.
Okay, so we've assembled the hardware. The machine is built. But how does this static collection of parts actually become intelligent? Well, it all comes down to the learning process, which is this amazing alchemy that transforms a simple act of prediction into something that looks an awful lot like genuine reasoning.
You have to realize modern AIs like GPT-4 are incredibly deep, with nearly 100 of these layers stacked one on top of the other. And this creates a hierarchy of understanding. As information flows up from the bottom, it gets more and more abstract. The lower layers, they're basically just grammarians worrying about syntax. The middle layers are like semanticists, figuring out facts and meaning. But by the time you get to the upper layers, they become reasoners. They start to model things like intent, logic, and what the user's actually trying to do.
So, why does this happen? This is the crucial point. The AI isn't programmed with a bunch of rules. No, it's trained on one simple, relentless game. Predict the next word. That's it. As OpenAI co-founder Ilya Sutskever famously said, prediction is the ultimate test of understanding. Think about it. To perfectly predict the end of a really complex detective story, you can't just know grammar. You're forced by the task itself to truly understand the plot, the characters, the motives, the logic.
And this leads to one of the most bizarre and shocking discoveries in the history of AI, something called emergent abilities. For really complex tasks, like multi-step math problems, models don't get better gradually.
They just perform at 0, 0, 0, and then, once they hit a certain critical size, their performance suddenly, out of nowhere, spikes. It's like these complex skills aren't learned, they just emerge once the model's big enough.
So let's trace the journey. How did this abstract architecture go from being an academic paper to the world-changing tools we all have in our pockets? The truth is, the journey from theory to reality happened at a blistering, unbelievable speed.
It all kicks off in 2017 with the paper. By 2018, the industry splits in two. Google bets big on the encoder with BERT for search, while OpenAI makes this contrarian bet on the decoder with GPT. Then, in 2020, the insane scale of GPT-3 reveals it can learn new tasks just from a prompt. And finally, in 2022, they align that raw power with human feedback, basically fine-tuning it to be helpful and safe. And that creates the friendly assistant we all know as ChatGPT. Just 5 years, from paper to a global phenomenon.
And you know, the human story behind this is just as incredible. The original 8 authors from Google, they didn't stick around to reap the rewards. Nope. They scattered and went on to found the next generation of AI giants. Companies you've probably heard of, like Cohere, Character.ai, and Adept. They were the dream team that literally seeded the entire modern AI industry.
So let's bring it all home. Let's ask the final question. Why? Why did this one idea, this one single architecture, completely rewrite our future? What was the secret sauce that made it so uniquely powerful? Well, it really comes down to 3 things. First, it completely collapsed distance. No more forgetting. A word at the start of a book has a direct, instantaneous connection to a word at the very end. Second, it embraced parallelism. It was just a match made in heaven for modern GPUs, which is what unlocked this massive, unprecedented scale. And third, and this might be the craziest part, it turned out to be a universal interface. It doesn't just work for text, it works for images, for code, even for the building blocks or biology itself.
I mean, what an incredible journey. This entire enterprise started as just a static grid of numbers, pure mathematical abstraction. But by forcing that grid to do one simple thing, predict the patterns of human language on a planetary scale, we ended up with a system that can reason, create, and converse in ways we are still just beginning to understand.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway from our entire series. As we stand here right on the edge of this completely new era, it is so important to remember what's actually going on under the hood. It isn't magic. It's not a ghost in the machine. Every single time you type into an AI, you are talking to a machine that against all odds simply learned how to pay attention.